All right, the Invictus Games wrapped up on the weekend as a big week awaits the rest of the royal family. We're joined once again this morning by our royal. Okay, the Invictus Games came to a close with a really emotional speech from Prince Harry. Can you tell us a bit more about that? And now that the games are over, what lies ahead for both Harry and Meghan?
All right, let's dive into a story that's making major waves right now. The Invictus Games, you know, the international sporting event for wounded, injured and sick service personnel, is suddenly at the center of a massive controversy. And at the heart of it, none other than Prince Harry, its most famous champion. So here's what's going down.
In a jaw-dropping development that could destroy Prince Harry's last remaining symbol of public goodwill, the chair of the Invictus Games Foundation has allegedly threatened legal action over a shocking $30 million funding discrepancy. For a man who has spent years branding himself as the modern royal hero fighting for veterans, this scandal could be catastrophic. Insiders report Harry is in full-blown panic mode, holding emergency meetings as investigators begin to trace where the millions have gone.
Harry's end of the Invictus Games speech is always kind of a showstopper. And he was talking about, these are competitors who've been wounded, right? And they're coming back from a lot of physical and mental wounds. And
Prince Harry and his wife Meghan Markle are in Whistler, BC today, 1 year ahead of the 2025 Invictus Games, which will be hosted in Whistler and Vancouver. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex joined competitors on the slopes this afternoon as they trained for skiing and snowboarding events,
suggesting that this is no longer a behind-the-scenes matter. It's a potential public scandal on the verge of court action. If a lawsuit proceeds, Harry could be subpoenaed to provide financial records and answer questions under oath. One financial analyst told The Guardian, $30 million doesn't just vanish. Either there was gross negligence, or someone is hiding something. Either way, legal accountability is now inevitable. Naturally, all eyes have turned to Archewell, Harry and Meghan's foundation, which has played a major role in managing, promoting, and funding Invictus-related operations. But critics say Archewell's lack of financial transparency has long raised eyebrows.
Donna, over the next few days, this BC resort town will serve as a training ground, and Harry and Meghan are here standing in solidarity with injured and sick service personnel and veterans.
The chair of the Invictus Games Foundation has just filed a lawsuit against Prince Harry over a jaw-dropping $30 million in missing funds. Yep, you heard that right. 30 million, that's not pocket change. That's life-changing, event-altering money. So naturally, everyone's asking, how did this happen and where did the money go? Now, before we jump to conclusions, let's look at what we actually know.
According to leaked internal reports, multiple invoices from Invictus operations were channeled through Archewell, yet were either never settled or listed as undisclosed services. There's now mounting pressure for Harry's team to publish clear financial statements. But as of now, no such report has been made public. A former charity auditor shared with Sky News, this could go beyond civil litigation. If it turns out public or donor funds were mishandled, it could trigger tax investigations, charity commission penalties, or worse, criminal fraud charges. This isn't just about sloppy accounting. It's about the reputation of a man who used Invictus to build his new identity, now at risk of total collapse. Perhaps the most devastating blow comes not from lawyers, but from the veterans themselves, the very people Invictus was meant to serve. Several past participants have come forward anonymously, expressing shock, disappointment, and anger over what they now see as betrayal.
A shout out.
Absolutely right. And also, after Donald Trump said at the weekend that he wasn't going to deport him because he's got enough problems with his wife, which was classic Trump, he apparently decided in his speech to say that basically he didn't think there was much moral leadership in the world, which everybody thought was a bit of a swipe at Trump. But
one former UK competitor told Daily Mail, Harry promised this was about honoring us. He stood in front of cameras and said we mattered. Now, $30 million is missing? We were used to build his brand, and then discarded. Another U.S. Marine veteran said bluntly, if this is true, then shame on him.
I've literally seen in Nazi costumes. Just kidding. No, I mean, here, sit this one out, Prince Harry.
Yeah. So, I mean, they're going to be up there, presumably parading it. Did I also read a piece that they were staying in the same hotel presidential suite as a president actually stayed in?
100%.
The lawsuit alleges serious mismanagement of funds that were meant to help veterans, with accusations pointing directly at Harry's oversight. The chair claims that, despite repeated warnings, there were gaps in financial reporting and accountability. But Prince Harry's camp, they're denying any wrongdoing. His spokesperson called the lawsuit baseless and deeply disappointing, and stresses that all financial activities were above board. According to them, the missing funds either never existed or are being wildly misrepresented.
That is who
This was supposed to be sacred, not another Sussex scandal. The emotional fallout is growing, as veterans across countries now demand answers, not only about where the money went, but how Harry could let this happen under his watch. For years, Prince Harry has enjoyed media protection in the US, especially among progressive outlets who championed his break from the monarchy. But this time, the narrative is shifting rapidly. Even sympathetic platforms like People, The Washington Post, and The Atlantic are beginning to ask tough questions.
They are wildly more impressed with themselves than anyone else is.
Right. I also saw a bit of a video clip of them on the back of a golf cart going through underneath the sort of the stadium in Vancouver where the Invictus Games was going on. And as somebody said, you hardly see any footage whatsoever of the actual games. We just see is footage of Harry and Meghan.
Headlines are no longer fawning over Harry's bravery or Meghan's speeches. They're now demanding clarity. Where is the money? How did this happen under Harry's leadership? Is Invictus the next Sussex failure? PR experts say this is the most dangerous kind of scandal. Not gossip, not royal drama, but numbers, accountability, and betrayed veterans. The same experts predict that even Meghan's media machine can't spin this away, as the story grows. Harry's silence is only adding fuel to the fire. As the firestorm surrounding the missing Invictus Games funds intensifies.
I've been ordered to stand along the route.
Well, that's what, I'm seeing these videos and everybody's like, oh, they love him. They love him about Prince Harry. He is not a martyr. He's supposed to just be the organizer and the ambassador. He's not Jesus Christ. Yeah. And I don't believe
he wasn't injured in combat.
Prince Harry's silence is starting to look more like guilt than grace. The $30 million discrepancy has cast a dark shadow over what was once his most celebrated legacy, and now, pressure is mounting from all sides. Donors, veterans, the public, and the media. What was supposed to be a safe haven for service members has become a financial and reputational disaster. And Harry is at the center of it all. Several of the major global sponsors backing the Invictus Games have reportedly frozen their contributions pending a full, independent financial audit.
That's not the message you want to send, but at least they've sort of taken a break from the Meghan Markle fashion show, which was the last Invictus Games.
And when are we going to see the Love Meghan Netflix documentary show?
Oh, less than a month away, March 4th. Get your barf bag. We'll have to recap that because I'm hearing that it's really...
These sponsors, including banks, private investors, and charity partners, are demanding transparency before continuing their support. One executive from a top-tier donor organization told Financial Times, "We're not comfortable investing another cent until we know where the last $30 million went." The threat of long-term funding cuts is real, and it could force Invictus operations to pause or shut down entirely, a devastating blow for participants who depend on the games for support, exposure, and empowerment. Much of the blame is now falling on the leadership inside Archewell.
I hear about Meghan Markle throwing parties. I hear about her crashing them.
Yes, exactly right. Just before I let you go, let me play you a little clip from Angela Rayner. She, of course, is our beloved Deputy Prime Minister with a crooked fringe. And she was asked, unbelievably, on the BBC. I don't know where the standards have gone on the BBC, but they...
Particularly the financial and operational heads responsible for managing the charity's budget and event coordination. Sources say that Archewell's internal systems are in chaos, with disorganized records, unvetted vendors, and overlapping budgets with Meghan's media projects. a report from a former consultant close to Archwell claims. The lines between charity and business were often blurred. Staff didn't always know what was funded for Invictus, and what was just content for Meghan and Harry's brand. This blending of philanthropy and personal PR has long drawn criticism.
Be a yes then, I think, Kinsey.
Yeah, I think I like the distraction with the crooked bangs. Nothing says don't listen to what I'm saying, just stare at my forehead like crooked bangs.
Very true. Brilliant. Good to see you. Thank you very much indeed. You can get some sleep now. Kinsey Schofield live from California. It is remarkable, isn't it, that we've got now a kind of...
But now, it may be the foundation for legal accountability. Within royal circles, the response to this unfolding scandal has been measured, but unmistakably cold. While no official statement has been made, palace insiders have reportedly instructed aides not to comment on any Invictus-related inquiries. According to the Sunday Times, a senior royal source stated, "This is Harry's venture, Harry's operation, and Harry's responsibility. The palace has nothing to do with Invictus finances." And that's exactly how they want it to stay. It's a clear message. Prince Harry is on his own. The firm will not be stepping in to clean up this mess, publicly or privately. Perhaps most devastating of all is the public backlash. On platforms like X, formerly Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok, hashtags like #WhereIsTheMoney and #SussexScandal have begun trending. Even once sympathetic followers are voicing their outrage. One viral tweet reads, "Harry used wounded veterans to build his brand, then lost $30 million. He deserves every bit of scrutiny coming his way." Influencers and veteran advocates are now calling for boycotts of Sussex-related media projects, demanding that streaming platforms like Netflix reevaluate their partnerships with the couple. This isn't just a bad headline. This is reputational collapse on a global scale.
So, we're stuck with two wildly different stories and a ton of unanswered questions. What makes this even more explosive is how high the stakes are. The Invictus Games isn't just a feel-good event, it's a symbol of resilience and hope for thousands of veterans and their families worldwide. For it to be caught up in a scandal like this, that's a gut punch. The public's trust, the athletes' dreams, even the future of the games themselves, all of that hangs in the balance. So, what's next?
What started as a noble mission to uplift wounded warriors has now spiraled into Prince Harry's most humiliating crisis yet. The missing $30 million has not only triggered legal threats, but it's also shattering the last remnants of public trust in the Duke of Sussex. With the Invictus Games Foundation under pressure, Archwell under scrutiny, and the public turning hostile, Harry's empire, once built on empathy and service, is collapsing under the weight of unanswered questions and financial chaos. In a shocking new twist, several veterans who participated in past Invictus Games are now consulting legal teams about filing a class action lawsuit against the organization and Harry himself. If it's proven that their stories, likeness, or medical conditions were used in promotional campaigns linked to the missing funds. One former UK soldier told the Mirror, "We trusted Harry because he was one of us. If he let this happen under his name, then we want the truth, in court if necessary." Legal experts believe such a lawsuit could pave the way for major revelations, especially if evidence surfaces showing that Invictus funds were diverted to other Sussex ventures, including Netflix documentaries or Archwell PR operations. If so, Harry could be held personally liable. Prince Harry built his post-royal identity on the Invictus Games. It was the one project everyone agreed he got right, even those who criticized his royal exit or media deals. But now, that final pillar has crumbled. With $30 million missing, lawsuits looming, veterans outraged, and his charity in shambles, the hero image is gone, replaced with questions, suspicion, and shame. He's no longer the soldier prince or global humanitarian. He's a man hiding behind palace walls and Montecito fences, silent as the very veterans he championed cry out for answers. This scandal isn't just the fall of a royal. It's the collapse of a brand built on trust, trust now broken. If the lawsuit proceeds, Prince Harry may be forced to testify under oath. If more discrepancies are uncovered, regulatory bodies may intervene, and criminal investigations could follow. And even if no legal charges are filed, the damage to his reputation may be irreversible. This wasn't a tabloid scandal. This was $30 million meant for wounded heroes, and it disappeared on Harry's watch.
Well, the lawsuit's been filed and Prince Harry's legal team is gearing up for a battle. There's likely to be months of courtroom drama, forensic accountants, and, let's be real, a whole lot of headlines. If the allegations are proven true, the repercussions could be massive. Not just for Harry, but for the entire charity sector. But hey, before anyone starts picking sides, let's remember, these are still allegations. No one's been found guilty of anything yet. The real story will unfold in the coming weeks and months, and I'll be keeping a close eye on all of it.
The Invictus Games deserved better. The veterans deserved better. And the public, who believed in Harry's mission, deserve the truth. What do you think? Should Harry be held legally responsible if the money isn't accounted for? Has he betrayed the very people he once vowed to serve? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let your voice be heard, because this isn't just about royalty anymore. It's about accountability. Subscribe now to stay updated as we uncover more about the financial scandal that may finally end Prince Harry's public credibility. And just when you think it couldn't get worse, insiders now claim that more financial irregularities may surface in other Sussex-linked projects. There are whispers that several non-profit partnerships tied to Archwell are quietly auditing their own dealings, fearing that they too may have unknowingly become part of this growing scandal. If those audits reveal similar inconsistencies, this won't just be an Invictus disaster. It'll be a total collapse of the Sussex charitable empire. Meanwhile, veterans are still waiting for a public apology, waiting for answers, and most of all, waiting to see if the man who promised to fight for them will finally step up and take responsibility. Because right now, Prince Harry isn't just losing money, he's losing the very trust that once set him apart from the rest of the royal family.
So what do you think? Is this just another overblown royal scandal, or is there something more serious under the surface? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I really want to know what you're thinking. And if you want to stay updated on this story, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.